Good evening, Ryan, Anise, all my friends on Social Empire. I just wanted to produce a little video here to give you an update on what I'm doing with the app. And first of all, I've installed it on one of my Facebook pages rather than having people navigate to the app itself, because it was a little bit confusing as to how that worked with the welcome page and liking it. Having to like the app and the page you are on just was a little bit cumbersome. So if you navigate your browser to facebook.com/tweakpress, that's all you need to put in. This !SK wall just comes up when you're on the wall. This presentation software that I'm using right now is something that's a little bit new to me, so I'm going to get a handle on that, and we don't need me on the screen, so I'll just get it back to where we want to go. So after you've navigated to the page, you can see the normal page structure, and to launch the app you go to Social Empire tab just below info on the wall. This is my admin screen, so I see some things that you guys aren't going to see it. So we'll just go ahead and launch the app here. Takes a second for it to come up, and you can see one of my intro screens, how it is. And I haven't done all the graphics work that I want to do on this, but we're going to be getting there. This is actually feeding in from my WordPress blog front page if you go to tweakpress.com, and I can put hyperlinks in there, and it's cool. If you hover off of it, it goes back to the player, and you can go through some of the images and graphics by clicking on the stuff below. I don't change that stuff a lot often, but as I get more content built, I will. So we're going to take off into the app and see a little bit about what it can do for us as users. And I'll be adding other functionality as I develop different modules. Right now I've got 8: the Peeps, the Buzz, Engage, Engine, Home, Channel, Training, and Stories. The most important ones I've left at the top, the ones that I think are important. And the Peeps is a name server generator of your e-ticker symbol, which I'm using a little JavaScript to get the pop-ups, and you can get an instant view of each person. I'm trying to get these tooltips to show up larger, but it is what it is right now. And I've got Ryan up here as the group creator, and I've developed this specifically for the group and only for our use. Now other people can surf in and see this, but there are things that I can do to make them either become a member of our group if we want them, or not. So you can scroll down through here. Now one thing that you're going to see is I put Twitter usernames, and a lot of them are blank, and it says Twitter ? I don't want to be a hard ass here, but the list document in the Social Empire group is a valid document. Not everybody's using it, and I can't rely on it completely to keep this list up to date, because it could get corrupted since the list is in the public domain and editable by us users. We could lose it, and we saw the other day that it was being a problem, and Ryan had to go in and tweak it up a little bit to get it back to where it was. So what I'm doing here, and I'm asking all of you, and if you read my document in the group, you'll see some of the things that I've gone over about how this application works, and you might as well take 10 minutes and read it carefully. I'll keep it updated as far as the functionality goes, but for me to keep this part of the list up, it's manual. So I need to rely on the group and users, those people who put their information in are going to have their information displayed here. I only want two names. Anise Smith. There's a lot of people with hyphenated names, and there's a lot of people with three names. I really just need a first and last name, and that may be particularly sensitive to you, but for displaying this properly, I have to keep it pretty concise. What I'd like you to do is scroll down this list, and you'll see that you are or you are not on it, and that's based on the original list. And I've created a document of my own here, which is a cloud-driven spreadsheet by Google Documents, which when you fill out the form, it will populate a spreadsheet in my Google Apps account, and I can keep track of everybody. And it just asks you, what's your ticker? And I want you to put your ticker in here with the E in brackets, because that's how, when I put it into code, it reads it. And all of your username from Empire Avenue has to be in capitals. Okay, who the heck are you? That's where your first and last name go. Twitter username, not a must-have, but you probably have a Twitter account if you're socially inclined. I see most people are Twittering. This says that, that information up top is publicly available, and we're given the authority to republish that from you by executing this document. Not a big legal issue. If you do want to communicate with me personally with a note or a question, of course, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you can do that using that functionality, but you can put whatever you want in here, submit the document, and the ticker and the name are the only actual required fields, so you can just fill out those and then execute the document and it will populate my spreadsheet in the back end. That didn't go through because I didn't have any information there. Okay, let's move on. The buzz. This is probably my favorite part right now of the application, because it shows us a Twitter feed, and if you put your mouse over the feed, it'll stop it, which is a good feature and designed in the code to do that. And you can see that it will draw out of Twitter anything that has the hashtag social empire mentioned in the content. So if you type the hashtag plus social empire, all one word, it will populate in this feed. It will probably track the word social empire without the hashtag too, but it's just normal to put that in. So you can see all the people here already in the group that are populating tweets in the feed. And if I take Nakiva, this is the great part, and click on her username, a pop-out window comes up, and I can actually come down here and use the functionality, and this is really powerful. You can reply to a person right in this window. Okay, I clicked the wrong one there. I meant to click Nakiva. Reply to Nakiva, and I can say, "Hey darling, loving all your stuff on." Oops. Here's another hashtag we've been using, SPALS, created by one of our people right here. Hey, I can't remember everybody's name all the time, but it's an important one and being used. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now, and I'm going to tweet that, and that will go to her from me, and everybody tracking Social Empire will see that too. So I'll just go ahead and tweet that. And that's it. Done. I don't have to leave the application to tweet, reply, retweet, take my mouse off the feed, and it starts playing again. Okay, engage. I'm not going to go over this one too much right now because it's pretty deep. This is forum-based software that I have installed on the server. It's totally private, totally API driven by the social networks. Nobody can see this. It's private on a HTTPS connection that I've got going, and you can authenticate yourself without any interaction of mine by using one of the social network buttons, and it will just pop out a screen and ask you to pick a username if you're connecting via Facebook. I think that it will probably ask you if it will allow you to share your email address and posting to your wall. We don't do that, so it's really a moot point. Okay, this is again pretty deep. It's also a mobile application, and I don't have it formatted really right quite for the mobile yet, but you can also go to the pure link in a browser window and only be on the forum outside of Facebook. So it works anywhere I want it to work, on a mobile device, inside Facebook, and by itself as part of my domain. Okay, the engine. This one is very cool. You can search anything in the engine, and this is a piece of software I stumbled over the other day in code, JavaScript. So it's searching spals when it first comes up, which means spam pals. I think that's pretty funny. And those are all the things on the Twitter network that are being fed by that. You can just type anything in there and it'll populate what's going on in Twitter with having to do with Ryan, because I put his username in there. If we put Anise Smith, it does that. There's Anise's little cute logo now. It used to be giant and take up the whole screen, and she fixed it. I'm not going to go over too much more here tonight because there's a lot going on. I wanted to introduce it to you. There's a lot of power in the cloud aspects of this application. The fact that I can stream YouTube channel into it, not just a single video like a lot of applications do. And right now it's populated with some of my own stuff and company stuff, but we'll get some videos on a channel on YouTube that we can launch into this. Training is something that we can put a lot of fun stuff into it, and this is driven in the cloud too through my Google Apps account, and it's slides and videos. There's a friend of ours, I don't think he's a member of the group, but Pod 101, we all know him. Okay, and then stories. This is a very powerful part of the suite of applications that I develop mostly for corporate clients, and I've spoken social media at Caesar's Palace here lately last week to the bridal and music industry, and we're gaining a lot of traction with my applications on this. This is great. SlideRocket is just a robust slide presentation software. You can import PowerPoints into it, but there's no need once you learn how to use the software. And this is free, by the way. The only thing for paid accounts is to take the SlideRocket branding off of it, plus it gives you polling functionality and stuff like that. But it's got really rich media in it, so I can play a conversation visually, graphically, with great visuals in it, and hyperlinks work in this. So if somebody's looking at the presentation off-site, I can take them to that presentation inside the Facebook application if they're watching it somewhere else and they happen to click on the hyperlink. That's it in a nutshell. Just reiterate one more time, I've moved the application to TweakPress, facebook.com/TweakPress, and I really want people, when they have a chance, maybe 5 minutes a day, doesn't matter, to go ahead and go in there and update your ticker, Twitter, and name information, and I'll get more